afternoon and thank you for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Hawa Salihu Adama. There are strong indications that 7 ministers of the Federal Republic may have had their last session as members of the Federal Executive Council, as President Goodluck Jonathan during the council meeting announced their intention to serve in other capacities. State House correspondent Segun Laole completes the report.
It's indeed a memorable day for members of the Federal Executive Council in what looks like a valedictory session, as the president announced that 7 members of his cabinet may not be part of the council deliberation next Wednesday. The newly appointed 6 federal permanent secretaries are representing Taraba, Niger, Benue, Kebbi, Edo, and Kaduna states. Just as they were asked to bring to bear their wealth of experience in moving the civil service forward, the president told them to ensure that discipline remains the hallmark of the service, as against impunity, which is inimical to an efficient and effective as well as result-oriented public service. The president also observed the recent development whereby the ministers and their permanent secretaries are always at loggerheads and pleaded for harmonious relationship in the interest of the nation.
So if there's a conflict or a co-relationship between key actors in any department of government, it's a recipe for failure. So in any ministry where the PAMSEC and the ministers are not in terms, that's another way of telling Nigerians that both of you have failed the country. And I will use this opportunity to plead with the permanent secretaries and the ministers that for the interest of this country, they must see how they will work together.
And shortly before the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Ayim Pius Ayim, announced a number of awards received on behalf of the President within this month. The awards include a Lifetime African Leaders Achievement Prize received on behalf of the President by Vice President Namadi Sambo.
The award is based on the recognition of your courage, dedication, and commitment to the betterment of life through good governance, justice, and development in the history of our country, Nigeria, and Africa at large.
Minister of Communications Technology Mobola Johnson also received on behalf of the President ICT Media Centenary Award, where the President was selected as the Grand Commander of ICT Promoters in Nigeria. The Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs also presented an image produced by the non-militant youth of Niger Delta who are receiving ICT training in Calabar, Uyo, on the bill of the federal government. The gift was to express the appreciation of the Niger Delta youths for the support and assistance given by the President in allowing them to eke out a living.
Nigerians in groups, in numbers, and indeed individual organizations had come to appreciate the good work you are doing for the country.
In the State House, Segun Laole, NTA News.
And away from the Federal Executive Council, the 2014 World Food Day with the theme Family Farming, Feeding the World, is to raise the profile of family farming and smallholder farmers to eradicate hunger and poverty. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world in marking the World Food Day, correspondent Musa Baba Aliu takes a look at Nigeria's food production profile.
Any farm that is less than 2 hectares is regarded as small holding. Incidentally, 80% of all farms in Africa fall within this category, producing mainly food consumed in the continent. In spite of this, environmental challenges such as soil degradation, limited access to input and financing, processing and marketing are some of the factors affecting food production. It is in view of this that this year's World Food Day is focusing attention on the significant role of smallholding farms in eradicating hunger and poverty, providing food security and nutrition to achieve sustainable development.
Individual countries, and indeed Nigeria, need to upscale and sustain support to agriculture if they are to win the war against poverty, hunger, and malnutrition.
Nigeria's food production policy under President Goodluck Jonathan's administration has been rated as the best in recent times in West Africa, considering the impact it has on food production.
Today, the World Bank has actually agreed to now scale up the Nigerian electronic wallet to every single African country, including India, Brazil, and China. So Nigeria is exporting transparency.
Sensitization work, symposium, and agricultural exhibition are some of the activities the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has lined up to mark the event in Nigeria. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Very soon, all primary school pupils, totaling about 24 million, will enjoy a free health insurance scheme through a special federal government intervention. This was made public by the Minister of Health, Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu, at the 2014 Health Sector Ministerial Briefing in Abuja. Health correspondent Rashida Mustafa Olagunju reports that the minister said the present administration has adopted healthcare delivery as one of its main priorities. Her report.
When it was the turn of the health policies formulator in Nigeria to present its scorecard at the 2014 ministerial press briefing, of course, the recent outbreak and containment of the Ebola virus disease took center stage. Ebola survival rate stands at 30% before this feat achieved by Nigeria that recorded 60% survival rate.
What simply happened was that I think God wanted to confirm what the Minister of Health have always said, that we're indeed working. And he said, okay, let's test that system that they are building. And you agree with me today that if you need to combat Ebola virus disease, the reference point is Nigeria for the whole world.
If you look at the survival rates in Nigeria, the way our health professionals manage these cases, you will know that we have some of the best professionals in the world.
And away from Ebola containment efforts in Nigeria, other achievements by the sector in recent times includes 20% reduction in infant mortality, 35% reduction in maternal mortality rate, complete eradication of guinea worm, creation of Nigeria Center for Disease Control, among others.
We've done so many things in the health sector. But you know something about the health sector? When things appear normal, when everybody is walking around healthy, the work is taken for granted. For you to remain healthy, someone is keeping alert. Someone is doing some work. And that is the health sector. For Nigerians who have been enjoying healthy lives, there are people who are ensuring that, and that is the health sector.
The minister identified the National Health Act as one of the two agents that will revolutionize the health sector. He discouraged health workers' strike, noting their direct bearing on human lives. Information Minister Mr. Labaran Maku lauded the achievement and policies put in place by the ministry. Heads of health of parastatals took turns to field questions from the social media and audience. The two ministers promised Nigerians a robust healthcare delivery service in the future. In Abuja, Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
Now to politics. Former head of state, General Muhammadu Buhari, has formally declared interest to contest the forthcoming presidential election on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. The presidential aspirant, who made his intention known at the Eagle Square in Abuja, says transparency, accountability and respect for the rule of law will be his watchwords if given the opportunity to govern the country.
I humbly wish to present myself before you, before all Nigerians, and before God, seeking to be elected as APC's presidential candidate. We have worked very hard in the last 18 months to put up structures from the polling unit towards local governments, states, and the center. We have tried to ensure all processes in our party formation to be transparent and credible.
This is the fourth time General Muhammadu Buhari is attempting to rule the country under this democratic dispensation. And President Goodluck Jonathan has donated 250 million naira to victims of the Mile 1 market fire disaster in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The president made the donation during the official commissioning of constituency projects embarked upon by a member representing Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2. Onengie Fineface completes the report.
The Mile 1 fire incident of December 17, 2013 destroyed goods worth millions of naira and rendered the traders out of business. President Jonathan, represented by the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, said the intervention is in recognition of the extent of damage caused by the fire and the need to help victims get back on their feet.
The government that is coming, that of PDP, has already made a pledge when we repealed this very historical Rimoji Mile 1 market. I want to present you this check of the sum of 250 million naira.
Indeed, what we are witnessing today is the confirmation of my humble effort to put smiles on the faces of the people by delivering dividends to their doorstep.
Leaders of the PDP in Rivers State assured the president of the support of the people come 2015.
That you have remembered and identified with the people of Rivers State. God will continue to promote PDP. God will continue to promote Mr. President.
An adult education center, alongside other empowerment materials including buses for Umuwoji Council of Chiefs, were also commissioned by the PDP national chairman. In Port Harcourt, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
Leaders of the Jonathan Actualization Movement, JAM, have listed President Goodluck Jonathan's achievements in power generation, health, agriculture, education and youth empowerment despite the challenge of insurgency as some of the reasons to give the president a second chance. The national coordinator and founder of JAM, Basirat Nehibi, said this at the South Town Hall meeting on peace, insecurity, religious and tribal tolerance in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. She urged women and youth to shun violence and embrace peace.
Campaign for peace, unity, religious and ethnic tolerance during the elections and after the
We have to show good example to other zones, to stick and leg with other members of JAM, to protect, to work, to punish, to serve Mr. President.
Other speakers also affirmed that the South had benefited in many areas and that the region would stand by President Jonathan. The group was also at the palace of the paramount ruler of Uyo and chairman, Akwa Ibom State Council of Traditional Rulers, Edidem Silas Obot, who commended JAM for their peace initiative. JAM also inaugurated its zonal office in Uyo. And in an effort to integrate aggrieved members and bring new ones to the People's Democratic Party before the 2015 general elections, the South-South Committee on Integration, led by its chairman, Professor Iya Abubakar, has visited elder statesman Edwin Clark to brief him on the reconciliation efforts so far. Chief Edwin Clark commended the national chairman of the party for setting up the committee. He said since the People's Democratic Party is the largest party in Africa, it cannot be intimidated by defection because new members are joining the party every day. He then urged the committee to work hard to ensure proper reconciliation of aggrieved members.
For the 2015 election, more than ever before, more people are coming into the party. Recently, you saw that the leader of the Labour Party and the governor of Ondo State has joined the PDP.
The secretary of the Committee for the South-South region, Cairo Ojobo, described the party as one big family that has a unique way of resolving issues amongst members. The committee was mandated to harmonize members in Akwa Ibom, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, and Cross River states. And there are strong indications that the forthcoming general elections in Nigeria will be an improvement over the previous ones. Guest on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria expressed this optimism while featuring on today's edition of the program. Salihu Abdullahi completes the report.
The guest agreed that even though election process is still in its nascent stage, playing the game of election in accordance with the rules is inevitable.
Ideally, and in accordance with existing international protocols, the legal framework ought to have been settled at least 6 months to the election.
Precisely.
But that's a guide. It hasn't been done, and there's nothing we can do. So we have to operate with the existing law, the law as it stands today. If tomorrow the law is amended, then we'll react accordingly. We'll have to obey the law as it is. So in a sense, things are very, very much on track. There's a schedule, and we expect everybody to abide by that schedule.
Recent events among political parties, they said, are enough evidence to showcase the level of preparedness of the electoral system.
When this so-called democracy started in America, it was not practiced this way. And they continue to learn and learn and learn and learn until they where they are. So also it's going to happen in Nigeria. As I said, what is 15 years? We got independence 54 years ago. So what is 15 from that? Out of the 54 years, or about 30 years for military. So in terms of how long it will take us, it's not something that will take 24 hours. We need to be patient with this liberal democracy. We really need to be patient.
They, however, call for caution, especially now that preparations are in top gear for commencement of political rallies and campaigns.
I think he's talking the truth. The timetable will be issued. People should comply. There's time for the political parties to go out on campaigns. So if you start to beat the gun by starting your campaign earlier than expected in the INEC timetable, then you are at fault. So such people should be sanctioned. I believe they ought to be sanctioned, except they are not aware of the timetable that are made available by INEC.
Elections, they emphasize, is a process where people struggle for power, but advise Nigerians, especially politicians, to allow interests of society to prevail instead of individual interest. In Abuja, Salihu Abdul.
And for national transformation to be sustainable in Nigeria, a functional education quality assurance must be put in place. This was part of submission at the 4th Biennial National Conference of Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union held in Zuba, Abuja. Correspondent Adino Justice reports that the conference was organized by the Kowesu North, Central and Middle Zone.
Poor performance of students or candidates have performed abysmally below expectation. This in itself has posed some challenges.
The academics gather here to brainstorm on how to improve quality in education.
Unless efforts are made
with the theme Education, Quality Assurance and National Integration, the conference examined some national issues that have impact on education. In their paper presentation, which focused on questions such as poor performance of students, teacher education, student growth, educational evaluation, national growth and development, the speakers agreed that there must be a quality assurance in education if the country must grow.
And the students do everything possible, including cheating, in order to obtain the 5 credits.
Need for quality assurance unit in almost every school.
For any change to take place, those who will deliver it, those who will drive it, must be qualitative. And for anything qualitative nationally, it must start from education.
Malam Nuhu Grima, National Secretary Kowesu, says the research lecture is part of the union's community service to draw attention to the need to give education its pride of place in the country. The education sector is having challenges and you don't address them. What you are asking for is the fact that the next generation and the generation that comes after it would have developmental problems. Edina Justice, NTA News.
Time now to join Abdullahi in our Lagos Network Center for top stories from that zone. Over to you, Abdullahi.
Thanks for joining us here, and it's good to see you, Hawa.
The 64-page electronic passport has been officially launched in Lagos State. Justin Moses reports that the new e-passport was issued to the state governor, Babatunde Fashola, and his wife.
The 64-page e-passport was launched in Nigeria on the 30th of July this year and first issued to the President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and the Vice President Namadi Sambo. Presenting the passport to the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, the State Controller of Immigration, Mrs. Justina Amadu, noted that the new passport was a direct response to the request of Nigerian.
The 64-page e-passport also has the advantage of enhanced security features, which prevent identity theft, substitution, and other document fraud crimes and criminality.
The governor, in his response, said the new passport was one of the processes to enhance internal security. He charged the Nigerian immigration to build its reputation and that of the country. He also charged them to be vigilant, especially as regards Ebola virus disease, to avoid it being brought into the country again.
It was a harrowing experience for us. It is not more that we want to experience again. And the first line of defense against it starts from the world.
Apart from the governor and the wife, the deputy governor was also a beneficiary of the new passport. In Lagos, Jason Moses, NTA News.
Ahead of the upcoming World Polio Day billed to hold on the 24th of this month, the Rotary International District 9110 has organized a media briefing in Lagos to intimate the public on the successes so far recorded and its continuing efforts towards eradicating polio in Nigeria. John Ojukwu has the report.
Nigeria is one of 125 countries ravaged by polio virus worldwide. Statistics show that over 350,000 children across the world are affected annually by the epidemic, which leaves majority of its victims paralyzed, thereby reducing their productivity. Moved by this devastating situation, Rotary International had embarked on a radical fight against poliovirus. The drive, which spanned over 2 decades, has so far yielded tremendous results.
In 2012, for instance, we had about 160 cases, of polio in the country. Through the efforts, of the operating arm of the Presidential Task Force, which is the Emergency Operating Center. And this year, as we speak, we have only 6 cases of polio in Nigeria. And of those 6, 5 are in Kano State. 1 is in Yobe State.
The good news is that the major challenges to the fight, which include ignorance, insecurity, inadequate funding, among others, have almost been completely surmounted. However, the need to sustain the awareness remains paramount.
We have to reach out to people, educate them more on polio disease and let them know that it's very important to immunize their children.
The event provided a platform for Rotary International District 9110 to unveil activities lined up to mark the World Polio Day, which includes school debates and awareness work. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
Still on health, government at all levels have been urged to work towards subsidizing medication for the treatment of mental issues to ensure affordability and accessibility for sufferers. The call was made at an event organized by the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos, to mark the 2014 World Mental Day. Joy King Abakwea has details.
This year, the focus is on schizophrenia, a mental ailment which disrupts a person's life, leading to irrational and strange behavior, as well as delusions. WHO statistics show that 26 million people globally suffer from schizophrenia, while 1.7 million cases are recorded in Nigeria. The ailment, which is genetic, experts say, can also come up as a result of social issues, stress, pregnancy complications, and delivery issues. Early diagnosis and treatment, they say, is key to managing the ailment.
What makes it stand out is that it's a mental illness that affects the person, that makes the person to lose touch with reality.
Lack of access to treatment and awareness of the disease are some of the major challenges of managing schizophrenia. This is why the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital took the awareness campaign to the Yaba market in Lagos.
all over the world. It's the major cause of morbidity now. Not mortality, morbidity, because if you can't function, then there's no way you can drive the economy, you can function, be a happy person. So it's so important that people know about mental health.
It is part of our objective to assist the hospital in, destigmatization of the mentally ill patient.
This year's World Mental Health Day is tagged Living with Schizophrenia. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
And Joy's report ends our contribution from Lagos. Hawa will now continue nationwide in Abuja. Hawa, you're on.
Abdullahi. For about 2 weeks now, traveling from the north to the southern part of the country through Okene in Kogi State has been a nightmare for motorists and commuters. Our judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo, on his way from Ado Ekiti on Tuesday, had a feel of the gridlock on that road. His report.
Knowing the added damage being caused to the road, the man-hours being lost, and the economic effects on the nation, the National Assembly recently drew attention to the state of the road, while the Road Safety Commission called on Nigerians plying the Okene-Lokoja Highway to look for alternative routes. That has helped a little, depending on the destination of the commuters. For those who have no choice, Okene, which even before the damage had for years been described as a bottleneck, is now more of a nightmare.
This road is totally damaged and we are suffering with it, and many of our motors are causing accidents because of this kind of road.
It's very, very terrible. Since more than 4 hours we are on the road up.
We have been experiencing the same problem here because of improper drainage.
This situation has brought out the good and the ugly side of Nigerians. Volunteers coming to the aid of those who are stuck.
If something happens like this, if we continue waiting for federal government, it will delay many people. At least our people, even the local government chairman, disappointed.
We have been putting these stones since the day before yesterday, sir. Every present day. And we left here 8 o'clock in the night.
And on the ugly side, motorists who would just refuse to be orderly.
The road users, that the drivers, they don't cooperate to ensure that everybody move one after the other. Everybody is in a haste to move. And when everybody is in a haste, there will not be space for another vehicle to move and the other one will also not move.
Government officials, even with the privilege of the road being cleared for them, still see firsthand what others must pass through. But indications are that things are easing out gradually. Last week, the story was that people spent nights. Now, with the intervention of FEMA, road safety, and others, the 2 to 3 kilometer stretch takes 1 to 3 hours to cross, depending on the kind of vehicle. For those who ply this road very frequently, they must be having a first-hand feeling of this saying that a stitching time saves 9. The damage on this road did not just start in one day. It has been a pile-up of months, and now there is a total breakdown of the road. In Ogaminana, Okene, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Nightmare indeed, Femi. Moving to other matters now, Nigerians have been assured of a friendly and professionalized police that will ensure a hitch-free general elections in 2015 without bias, sentiments or intimidation. This is the fallout of discussions on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live, as the panelists stress that the era of sharp practices in the police force is over. Talatu Ezirike reports.
Discussants say there is political will by the Jonathan administration to reposition the police force for effective and efficient service delivery. This, they say, will be consolidated by the ethical policing pursued by the Acting Inspector General of Police, and stress that any police found wanting will face the law. They therefore enjoin the public to have confidence in the police and show understanding over checkpoints, which are necessary for now to checkmate insurgency.
The issue of accidental discharge, the duties, maybe in the course of their duty, that one has stopped. Right. Since the 2012 to date.
Can we have these sufficient vehicles? Can we have sufficient communication gadgets? I assure you, we'll have that. Let these 1% deductions go on.
Go on, yeah.
Let the purchases be affected. You will have equipment enough to police the society.
For other speakers, the ills associated with the police are a reflection of the larger society that must be tackled seriously.
I've seen people, when police say, can we see your trunk? Immediately they put their hand in the pocket. The man didn't ask you for money, but they brought out money. You find some police officers say, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm insisting you open your trunk. These are some of the mutual education we need on the part of the police and on the part of the citizens.
Good governance is key, accountability is key, and the depth of our democracy has reached a stage where the Nigerian police force has to rise up and appreciate where we are now.
The discussion on police, democracy and national security, discussants believe, is on course and should be sustained through more allocated tenure for Inspectors General of Police. In Abuja, Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We pause for some messages now. The news continues.
Extraordinary and unequaled in the history of Nigeria, the TAN Mega Rally, the grand finale, the rally of all rallies. Yes, Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria presents the final demand and yearning for President Goodluck Jonathan to declare and run for the 2015 presidential elections. So let us all come out en masse to attend this grand finale rally on Saturday, the 18th of October 2014 at Eagle Square, FCT, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. For all who love the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan, it is a must attend. Don't miss out.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, then for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956. Jade's Hotels. Welcome to life.
As a civil servant, he served Kano State government for 17 years. As a politician, his entry point was Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, later a member of the Constitutional Conference. As a leader of the masses, he started as a governor of the most populous state. As a trusted Nigerian, custodian and defender of Nigeria's unity and sovereignty, he served as defense minister for about 4 years, presidential advisor on Darfur and Somali. As a politician with true sense of justice and nationalism, he served on the board of NDDC. As a dogged fighter, politician of all seasons, he was re-elected as governor after 8 years of first term. As a crusader for justice and fairness in politics, he led fellow governors to join a robust opposition party. As a detribalized Nigerian, he knows all the nooks and crannies of this country. As a global bridge builder, he has traversed all the continent of the world and interacted with political and military leaders in more than 50 countries. Indeed, Kwankwaso can be trusted to do more for Nigeria.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King,
when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
The Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program invites the general public to a Shopee Stakeholders Conference, date 20th to 23rd October 2014. Venue, Idrinana Hotel, Lokoja. Special guest of honor, Architect Mohammed Namadi Sambo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief host, Captain Idris Wada, Kogi State Governor. Guest of honor, Chairman, Senate Committee on Shopee, Honorable Minister of Information, Honorable Minister of Labor and Productivity, Honorable Minister of Works, Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Minister of the FCT, Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Honorable Minister of Culture and Tourism, and Honorable Minister of Transport. Key speakers, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Minister of Finance, Geziani Alison Madueke, Minister of Petroleum Resources, Professor Taufik Ladan, Dr. Kabir Mato, Dr. Charles Nwekako, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, Minister of National Planning, Dr. Bright Okogu, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation. All state coordinators of Shopee, NGOs, civil society organizations, the media, and Shopee beneficiaries are expected to attend. General Martin Luther Agwai, Chairman, Shopee, announcer.
Make we support.
It will be big, extraordinary, and unequaled in the history of Nigeria. The TAN Mega Rally, the grand finale, the rally of all rallies. Yes, Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria presents the final demand and yearning for President Goodluck Jonathan to declare and run for the 2015 presidential elections. So let us all come out en masse to attend this grand finale rally on Saturday, the 18th of October 2014 at Eagle Square, FCT, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. For all who love the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Jonathan, it is a must attend. Don't miss out.
Thanks for rejoining us. Let's now join Abubakar in our Sokoto Center for a report on federal government's sensitization workshop for female voters and other stories. Good afternoon, Abubakar.
Good afternoon, Hawa. Women in the country have been assured of more opportunities to participate in the nation's political arena. These came to the fore at the sensitization of female voters organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development in Sokoto. Correspondent Jabi Ibrahim Ilela Dabo covered the event and now reports.
According to 2006 national census, women contribute about 50% of the Nigeria's population. Going by this figure, no one can doubt the relevance of women folk in the nation's electoral and democratization process. Perhaps this is the reason why the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and its state counterpart in Northeast and Northwest deem it necessary to organize an event of this nature to sensitize women on the rudiments of the 2015 general elections. Minister for Women Affairs and Social Development Hajia Zainab Mena said the sensitization was organized in order to enlighten women on their right to vote and be voted for. The minister, who was represented by the Assistant Director of Women Education and Modupe Adedayo,
Sorry, we cannot continue with our Sokoto Network Center, but moving on here in Abuja, following the recent boat mishaps on the River Niger and the attendant loss of lives and property, stakeholders in water transportation in Kogi State are advocating enforcement of necessary safety measures on the waterways. Correspondent Yakub Onotu completes the report.
The presence of Nigeria's two major rivers, Niger and Benue in Kogi State, and the high level of activities on the waterways due to movement of goods and services to and from riverine communities is no longer news. What is worrisome, however, is the recent spate of boat mishaps associated with water transportation, which is dominated by private operators in the state. The last two incidents, which are of great concern to stakeholders, occurred on rivers Cooper and Campe, both tributaries of River Niger. They claimed more than 60 lives.
They travel in the night, picking passengers along the bank of the rivers, and the boat were not, they cannot see in the night, the visibility is no more, and they crush on top of a moving tree.
The place where the boat coincide is not deep, just is a fear. But if they have the life jacket, say we protect the safety.
Some other issues that have fast become worrisome in the subsector are overloading of passenger boats, overspeeding, seaworthiness of the boats, and the ability and capacity of most of the engines to propel the boats on waterways.
The body that regulates this safety are federal government through the NIMASA and NIWA. We are just to help them to enforce it through the union.
We need a regulatory body. At least we have a state arm of marine marshals, and of course a rescue boat, and also life jackets.
Stakeholders say the trend is alarming and there is need for concerted effort by relevant authorities to nip the maritime safety problem in the bud and save lives on Nigerian waterways. In Lokoja, Yakub Onotu, NTA News.
The West African Climate Change and Adapted Land Use Service Center at the Federal University of Technology, Minna, has graduated the first set of its master's research program students on climate change and adapted land use. The graduate studies program is aimed at boosting the education of the next generation of African scientists and policymakers in the field of climate change and the land use management in West Africa. Damien Detti reports that the event attracted international guests from Africa and beyond.
Strongly supported by the federal government of Germany, WASCAL is an ambitious initiative instituted in the 10 African countries of the ECOWAS region, with 6 running PhD and 4 master's programs. Established with the overall aim of providing state-of-art training through postgraduate degree programs in priority focal areas impacted by the changing climate. This is geared towards bridging the research gap between Africa and the developed world, hence engaging German scientists that will bring in expert knowledge on climate change and sustainable land management, and in turn enable them learn from their African colleagues in order to strengthen local and regional capacities for adaptation to global changes. Different speakers at the event who underscored the program thanks the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research for its valuable support of over 50 million euros and expressed optimism that it will bring a unique, innovative and efficient support to Africa in its effort to cope with the enormous and dangerous threats posed by climate change.
The main objective is to study the factors responsible for climate change and, more importantly, how to mitigate, reduce the negative effect of climate change.
These are supervised by international experts from all over West Africa, including the Federal Republic of Germany.
Maybe we can stop the acceleration of climate change in the world because we have desertification, we have all those security issues related to climate change as well, which we are observing here in Western Africa.
Having successfully undergone 24 months program, qualifying them for a Master of Technology degree in Climate Change and Adapted Land Use, 7 out of the 10 graduates were said to have scored above 4.0 cumulative grade point average, with one of them, Agatha Akpeogai, awarded a fellowship by a German foundation to conduct a research related to climate change in Nigeria.
Our role as teachers is to guide the students to see beyond their immediate gain.
The graduation ceremony also featured the opening of a new building for the WASCAL FUT Minna program. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
We have Ruth in our JOS Network studios to guide us on stories from that zone. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Hawa, and welcome to JOS. As part of activities marking the first memorial anniversary in honor of the late first civilian governor of Plateau State, Chief Solomon Daushe Blar, an office complex has been commissioned and dedicated for use. The complex, which is christened the Emancipator Unity House, drew dignitaries from within and outside the state. Correspondent Bilkisu Nuhu tells us more.
Of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Governor John David Jang, who commissioned the office complex, commended the Lar family for continuing with the legacy of their father. He urged the younger generation to build on the numerous achievements and legacies of past leaders and in turn promote continuity.
The thing about great men is that what they have left behind, it is history that judges. And I want to believe that every human being has its weaknesses. Every human being has its shortcomings. But my prayer always is that history will judge Chief Solomon Dashaldar on the right path.
Representative of Governor Issa Yuguda of Bauchi State, Abdon Dalagin, called on all to continue from where the emancipators stopped.
We therefore say adieu, Father, and promise to promote your many lofty legacies, the best we can. And I believe this Unity House is part of the legacy.
Several speakers at the occasion eulogized Chief Solomon Lar for his contributions not only on the plateau but Nigeria as a whole. In their remarks, wife of the deceased, Ambassador Mary Lar, and his daughter Charlia thanked all guests who came to honor their husband and father and prayed that everyone will utilize the time given to them on earth by the Creator.
Anything you want to do, do it now, for no one knows tomorrow. Pray that this continues. May there be peace in Nigeria. May there be love in Nigeria. May there be unity in Nigeria.
Prayers were offered for peace on the plateau and the country at large. A memorial thanksgiving was earlier held in his honor at his hometown Langtang. The office complex, which was built over 7 years ago, will serve as a unifying ground for all. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
The Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mr. Perry Cladderwood, says the Biosecurity Level 3 laboratory of the National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM, meets global standard. Correspondent Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja reports that Mr. Cladderwood said this during an assessment tour of the laboratory.
The laboratory, established to provide a safe and conducive environment for scientists of the NVRI, was built by the Canadian government with over $2 million Canadian dollars. Executive Director of the Institute, represented by the Director of Research, Dr. David Shamaki, said the Institute, which currently produces 19 different vaccines with 100 million doses, has the potential to produce 400 million doses.
The Institute is really very grateful for this assistance because it will go a long way in helping us make sure that we comply to international standards in terms of diagnostic activities and in terms of research and vaccine quality control.
Mr. Calderwood was taken to the extraction laboratory, sterilization room, and other parts of the Biosecurity Level 3 laboratory. At the end of the tour, he had this to say.
I've been very impressed with the team of professional people I've met here. They've given me a tour of the facility, and I'm very confident that Canada has made a very good investment by providing this support, which will help the Nigerian researchers do their work safely.
The Institute has also organized a 3-day workshop on manpower development on pre-retirement for senior, middle and junior staff of the Institute. NVRI's Director of Administration, Mrs. Elizabeth Wapmuk, charged the participants to see retirement as a blessing and should work towards it gracefully. The Executive Director, represented by the Director of Research, Dr. David Shamaki, said the pre-retirement counseling is an important part of the staff welfare, which indirectly generates improved employers-employee relationship. The workshop is the second organized for 75 staff of the Institute due for retirement between 2016 and 2018. Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. It's back to Hawaii and Abuja for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Ruth. Nigeria's contribution to the growth of ICT internationally has been acknowledged in Dubai. The commendation was made by officials of the Dubai World Trade Center at the Nigerian Investment Forum at the ongoing Gulf Information Technology Exposition in the United Arab Emirates. Ruben Okala completes the report.
The Nigeria ICT Investment Forum, where some members of Dubai Export Agency of Economic Development, IT country representatives, as well as professionals from other countries. There were various presentations by some agencies from Nigeria on ICT investment potentials. With graphic illustrations, forum speakers showcased Nigeria's astronomical growth in ICT. Mr. Peter Pett represented the Dubai World Trade Center at the Nigerian Forum.
The message is clear from today and from all the presentations around investing in Nigeria's ICT market, or you'll only have yourselves to blame.
The Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Mr. Peter Jack, says Nigeria remains a gateway of ICT in Africa.
We are happy that we are here to showcase investment opportunities in the ICT sector in Nigeria.
Everything is based on information and knowledge, which can be distributed through IT.
We have a research showing the opportunities of exports and outward investments from Dubai to Nigeria.
ICT professionals are projecting that by the year 2020, the sector will have surpassed that of petroleum industry. Nigeria is therefore beckoning on interested investors to be part of the success story. From Dubai, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
Sports now. Nigeria's Super Eagles are about now taking on Sudan in the race to be in Morocco for the Africa Cup of Nations. Details with Amanzi Marcus.
This is the battleground for today's crucial Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match between Nigeria's Super Eagles and the Falcons of Sudan. The Nigeria Football Federation has thrown the gates wide open for all football fans to come and cheer the Super Eagles to victory without paying a single kobo. Kickoff time is 5 p.m., but the interest generated by a game of this nature is not normal. These are not normal times for Nigerian football because the 60,000 Abuja National Stadium is not expected to be filled up even by half. But despite the number, patriotism is key, and the Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi has said no booing should be allowed into this match.
If truly the way they feel that they're not happy about our result, they need to come out on Wednesday and show these boys that they're behind them. It's not just being angry, you know, that we didn't win. They need now this is where the boys need them. The team needs them to carry them on, to show them that encouragement. Come on, you can do it. You're serving your fatherland. You're playing your country. We're behind you.
A victory for Nigeria rekindles hope for qualification to the 20th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco 2015. Meanwhile, the usual hustle accompanying matches of this nature is almost lacking. A few traders were, however, seen hawking Super Eagles memorabilia, and most of them expressed optimism on Nigeria's victory.
All we can expect from the team is an improvement on what they did against Sudan, a little bit different approach to the game today, a little bit of commitment and all.
We need to win today's zone first. If we can win today, then we can work on that to move on. But I believe we will qualify.
With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And just before we leave you, a reminder that it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security. And that's Nationwide this Wednesday. We thank you for being part of it. Join us at 7 for more reports and 9 for News Extra.